Hey guys, Zangetsu 134 here, bringing you another Kamen Rider build review. This time we're looking at episodes 45 and 46. So I apologize I didn't do any vlogs last week. I kind of felt like I needed a break. I know that's not really that cool, but I just felt like I needed a break. Work was really crazy, and I just didn't feel like I had time to do any vlogging in between on either my days off or my hours before I go to work in the evening. So anyway. In the first episode, we have the death of Sento's father, as well as the explanation of the item they need to defeat Evolt. They'll need the 10 lost bottles, the black panel full bottle, or the black panel, and a new white panel that can be used to prevent Evolt from. Sorry, I don't sound super great, so I'm using some soda to try and balance it out. So yeah, they're trying to create this panel that will create a white hole that will prevent Evolt from absorbing planet energy, and instead will cause him to be destroyed. So yeah, in doing so, however, they needed to have Evolt stopped, hence why his Sento's dad in episode 44 had him cancel out Evolt so that he could be finally defeated, so that with him out of the way, they can finally end the war and prevent him from using his power to destroy everything. Unfortunately, at the last moment before Evolt was destroyed, he sent some of his genetic material into Utsumi, and in doing so, he was able to defeat the Riders and get his old body back. And by absorbing the black panel and just the black panel and the lost bottles, he finally gained his true form, that of his alien form of Evolto, which I actually kind of liked. I will admit it's kind of funny because it looks a lot like Majin Buu. In my opinion, he seems as powerful as him. And by activating the fever flow in the Evolt trigger, he sends himself and Sento to an alternate planet, which in a lot of ways looks like the planet that Kota made in Kamen Rider Gaim. I know it's not, because technically in this universe there are no other riders but the build riders. So in that regard, it's not really, but it does look a lot like it. Although the beings of this world are technically like light beings, they look like light silhouettes, which I'm guessing was just a way of totally saving on the budget. It's like 45 episodes in, so they don't have exactly like a huge amount of money for this season left, especially since they're probably starting filming on Zio, as well as doing the filming for Kamen Rider Build Be the One. In fact, this episode at the end, actually, real quick, sets up Be the One as Evolt sets up new prime ministers for each portion of Toto, Seito, and Hokuto, and they're basically the bad guys that I think show up in Be the One. Although each of them are using a lost bottle to transform into smashes, I think. And for some reason, Ryuga is also working for them in that, for some stupid reason. But anyway, so yeah, Sento and the others eventually managed to fight Evolt again, but at this point, Evolt's way too powerful, and he also absorbs a planet, which gives him these special gauntlets, and so, during that fight, Sento's father gets, killed by Evolt, which is actually a really sad scene, even though, like, I feel like it really shouldn't be, just because Sento's dad was only really talked about in the last couple episodes. I mean, he's brought up, but it's not enough for me to feel like it was really a super tragic moment. I don't know, maybe that just shows I'm really cold and callous. In the next episode, Evolt, like, uses his black hole powers to start destroying parts of Japan. He kills a bunch of people. And I was more impressed with the fact that Toei got away with doing that because in Japan you can do that sort of thing in kids shows. And I was really shocked. But then again, it's probably because their plan, which I'll get to, probably will make a lot of it moot. But basically, Sento's dad tells him not to give up and tells him to use the hazard trigger in conjunction with the Genius Full Bottle to power him up to stop Evolt, because that way, because basically the Evolt trigger, or sorry, jeez, I just burped on camera too. Because the hazard trigger is basically an artificial evil trigger, and using that in conjunction with the build driver should allow and as well as the Genius Full Bottle should allow Sento to be able to match the abilities of Evolt. And in doing so, the power of the hazard trigger allowed the genius form to go beyond its limits, and in doing so, it forced the hazard or the black panel out of Evolt's body, as well as purifying one of the lost full bottles. I believe it's the Castle Full Bottle. And so, they managed to get away. But Sento, is grieving over the fact that his father died, and also that he realizes that they have to make the white panel, which I will admit I especially like that Sento and Katsuragi are constantly arguing about whether or not their father really was a good person and did the right thing, and even if they should follow his plan. Although Sento does go along with it just because that's all they've got at the moment. And so, I had to figure out their new plan, which they do, using Ryuga in the next episode, as well as the hazard trigger, because again, it's like the evil trigger, as well as, Ryuga having Evolt's genes in it. He could control the Pandora's box, and in doing so, he creates the white panel. So, Sento then finally explains exactly how this plan will work. Basically, in order to destroy Pandora's tower and destroy the Pandora's box, they are going to take their universe and their world, which has evil and all this stuff, with a parallel world that doesn't. In doing so, it will merge the worlds together and create a new world where they all exist. But in doing so, it will destroy the Pandora box, the white and black panels, and will disintegrate Evolt. Basically, destroy him, and in doing so, they can save the world. And to be fair, they do talk about the ramifications. Wouldn't that mean if their copies would disappear, or what would happen? Basically, Sento argues that the whole idea of the portal hole shouldn't actually destroy anything. It'll just merge everything together and create one world. And that way, it'll be a world without all this strife and stuff, as well as a world where Japan will be one whole world. And to be fair, I do like that they bring up that they have dealt with parallel worlds. In fact, Ryuga even says he's heard that before, which I think is a reference to the Heisei Generation's final film, where all the previous riders are from alternate universes, from I want to say X8 onwards, or so. So it is kind of referencing the fact that for a while some of the Heisei riders have been from different universes. Actually, I want to say since Drive, because Drive implied there were alternate universes, particularly with Ninja, but that was mostly, I think, because of the fact that Superhero Taisen Grand Prix was supposed to technically be in an alternate universe or some stupid thing like that, because Yonemura is a terrible writer. But anyway, enough of my anger and rage at Yonemura, Shidakura, and Toshiki Inoue. Where's I going with this? Oh yeah, while all this is going on, Evolt has decided to finally reveal himself to be the Prime Minister of Japan, in that he has gave an ultimatum. The riders have 24 hours to decide what to give him back the full bottles in the black panel, or he will destroy the world. And so the riders, decide that they're going to try to do so, but in the battle that will take place, they'll trick Evolt into giving up the black panel and the white and the lost bottles so that they can put them together and enact their plan before Evolt destroys the world. And in doing so, they decide to have a big celebration where we get a bunch of different stuff. Particularly that the Blizzard Knuckle was originally actually meant for Kazumi, but in doing so, but because of the fact that him and Gentaku got experimented on, to the point where they'll die if they get defeated, using the Blizzard Knuckle will take him beyond the limits of human capabilities, and because his body couldn't handle the strain, most likely transforming with it would kill him. So, however, Sento gives him the Blizzard Knuckle and the Northwind full bottle and tells him, I only want you to use it as a weapon and not as a transformation device because it could kill you. And Kazumi promises, as well, saying, I don't even, this clearly works in a build driver, and all I have is a splash driver, which we'll get to. And so the heroes have a little celebration one more celebration together, as a way to enjoy what could be their last moments together. It'll be their last moments together regardless of whether or not they win or lose. So they decide to make it a happy one where they all have a big barbecue on the top of the building. Which I will admit is kind of saddening. It was kind of nice to see them all together, but at the same time kind of sad because they, Sento and Ryuga both realize, if we fail tomorrow, that's it. We've fought so hard to get to this moment, and even then, like, if we don't, it'll mean the end of everything. Like, it's do or die tomorrow. Which I actually thought was a really nice little thing to show them all together in a way where, like, they're all happy, because this part of this episode and the next episode is going to be just heartbreaking. So the final battle begins, and we get to the part where, like, Evolt decides to make it, like, a game because Evolt cannot help himself, and basically says, you have to reach the top of Pandora's Tower. And if you don't, for every 10 minutes you don't make it up there, I'm going to destroy a part of Japan using my black hole abilities. Which I had to admit was actually, like, kind of intense, and I didn't expect him to do it. And I actually had to admit, I think Evil's probably one of my favorite villains, just for how evil and, like, tricky he is. Because, like, he doesn't just fight with overwhelming power. He also knows that he knows how to, like, manipulate the others and how to hit them where it hurts the most. And in fact, he does so as they start climbing the tower. Evolt takes out the Evolt trigger and sends some of his genetics to create copies of the Hokuto 3 crows, and has them fight them. However, Kazumi's like, you guys go ahead, I'm going to fight them as Grease. And so, as they make their way up, Grease continues to fight the 3 crows. And however, even with using the Blizzard Knuckle as a weapon, it's not enough. They start just beating him up and using his own affection for them to keep him from hitting them. Until eventually Grease starts calling them by their actual names and not the names that they gave themselves. He was, as Grease states, he was waiting for the day when he could remember their names so that he could thank them for being with him. And so he does remember them. However, Kazumi eventually gets in front of them and bows like he's saying he's sorry. it's not because he's saying sorry to them. He's apologizing to Sento, as he had stolen Sento's father's copy build driver, and he uses it in conjunction with the Blizzard Knuckle to turn himself into Kamen Rider Blizzard Grease, knowing full well that he's going to defeat the copies of his friends, even if it means his death. And that's where the episode ends. Well, that is all going on. However, the others argue about whether or not they should go back or whether they should keep going. And Evolt once again destroys another section of Japan, which is kind of rough. And then that's where the episode ends. And now we have a week-long delay as there was golf this week. That's part of why I decided to wait until now to do build, just so that I could catch up and only have to do one episode next week. That of course being episode 47, when it finally comes out. So yeah, all in all, I think these were really, really good episodes. I think 46 in particular was really good, especially because it's shaping up for the last battle of the series, between the Build Riders and Evolt, and even then, like, Evolt throws them one last gauntlet as they make their way up the tower. I think it's really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the series ends. Even though we're getting like scans of Zio and stuff, I'm really looking forward to seeing the end of Build and what will happen when we get to Zio. Go Zio! Okay, we're on Zio. So yeah, all in all, I think it's a good episode, a good set of episodes. I like the parts like where we show the characters having fun. I like the good dark moments. I like the stuff with Evolt and Utsumi, clearly showing that he does have that, like, Utsumi's only really loyal to Evolt because Evolt is crazy and willing to kill him. But yeah, overall, I think it's a good set of episodes. I can't wait for the next one. Yeah, that's really all I gotta say. I think both are good episodes. I think 46 is better than 45 a little bit, just because, like, I feel like the dramatic moments are more earned than the death of Sento's father. Just because, like, his dad kind of faked betraying them for a while, and, you know, was really only introduced a couple episodes before his death, so it kind of felt like it wasn't really as important. But yeah, all in all, I think Build's setting up to have a really good finale, and I can't wait to see what they do. So anyway, guys, I think that's gonna be it for the Kamen Rider episodes this week. Like I said, I'm sorry I took a week off. I'm gonna do the next two episodes. I'm gonna try and find a way to watch the next two episodes of My Hero Academia, so that I can get them done. That's probably going to be Thursday, however, as I have or at least when I do the vlog, because I have a day off that day. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this week. Or, well, not this week, but going to be it for Kamen Rider this week. So yeah, until the next time we see each other, guys, take care. I'm Zangetsu 134, signing out.